Oh, and just before we move to something new, there is just 2 or 3 things that are bothering me. The first thing is, in some cases, whenever we are moving through the track, depending on how strong we dive into the track, sometimes this height right here becomes a negative number, and then it basically explodes this force that we were calculating right here. So I am going to prevent this just by doing a dirty clamp here. So if by any chance this height value is less than, let's give an offset here, 50, right? So if we are going too deep, I just want to go and force this thing to be 50, right? So there we go. If by any chance the projected height is less than 50, just force it to be 50, and then whatever happens here in our forces, repulsion or attraction, then we can just make sure that this value right here is something at least healthy, right? Something else, right? Let me just save this one. Something else that really bothered me was the fact that, remember in our track.c, in our load function, load sections, as we load the normal of the section and the base vertical of the section, I don't think we have to go and complete all the faces, right? Because if by any chance we found a track base face, I don't need to loop the other one. So just continue. Let's just get the first one and leave. So that is something that we should probably do. Just continue to prevent us from looping all these faces that we don't need, right? These useless faces after we found the first one. And I think that one other thing that I was kind of playing around with the numbers, this thing right here, the pole, I think it is pulling too strong. I want to give a little bit of more wiggle room. So let's just say just 100, right? And 30,000, yeah, I think that's okay. And I think that if we come here, just for the sake of us changing something, let me just change the ship to number 3. Let's just change the visual a little bit. Let's see how that looks. So build everything, hopefully no errors. There we go. And if we run this baby, right, so just making sure that we cover a little bit of the issues that we had before. So we can accelerate. So if I go up, I have a little bit more wiggle room, and then I can go down, just preventing those negative values, right? If we, by any chance, we go too deep, it doesn't explode the values that was exploding before. And there we go. In our version here, we have to lift the nose, so we have to go up. Yeah, I think it gives us a little bit more wiggle room. We can go up a little bit. Also, I don't know if you remember the original Wipeout. Of course, it's not going to be exactly like the original one, but whenever you are navigating through the track, you should be able to go, if you have a big jump or something like that, you should be able to have these ideas of almost like you, it's not that you are perfectly attracted to the track, but you can kind of leave the track a little bit and then the gravity pulls you down, right? Again, it is not going to be like the original one, but for example, right here, if you go here in this descending, you leave the track a little bit and then the gravity kind of pulls you down there. Yeah, so very dirty and quick tricks that we're using, but kind of gets the job done for now, right? In our very, very simplified version of this ship movement that we have. We are kind of glued to the track, right? That's what we want.